Yeah.
Sideburns.
What's the word? Tell me what you heard. That info that we kicking, it be louder than some herb. Word, information, no telepathical. We gon' have to elevate your mind where you wanna go. Kiss Calhoun in the mix. Sideburns dropping all the beats, it's a hit. It's a podcast you don't really wanna miss. So sit back, relax, let's talk for a bit. What's the word? Spitting out the game that you need. What's the word? Make it say yes indeed. What's the word? Something that you wouldn't believe. What's the word? The word is for you to receive. What's the word? 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 I say tune in live, cause we up in the mix, and you know we have some topics that we have to reach. What's the word? 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 I say tune in live, cause we up in the mix, and we have a few topics that we have to reach. What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? What's the word? What's the word?
What's up, everybody? This is your girl, Kiss Calhoun, and we're back for another episode of What's the Word? And today I'm being joined by the one, the only, the who, Mr. Mr. D.Jon.
You're always joined by me every week.
Of course.
I never miss a beat. What's up, people? Of course, like she said, it is What's the Word? And we are back for another episode. Like, you know, where are you if you're not listening to us on Wednesdays? Like, you missing out.
You missing out,
Period.
But today's episode is definitely one of those episodes where we're about to challenge the thought of people's minds. And I'm pretty confident that everybody already believes this already, but we're about to talk about like the conspiracy behind do you really believe Tupac is dead or alive? And for years, people have speculated that Eazy-E was injected with the AIDS virus, a HIV virus. What's your thoughts on secret societies and gatekeepers? And of course, we got to talk about the crab in a bucket mentality, because I believe that is also a part of a conspiracy, if you do not understand. Of course, we got the T, Hard Rock Cafe collapse out here. Everybody know pretty much about that. The police officer, Aaron Dean, who shot and killed an unarmed woman in her home. Of course, our brother, DMX, then checked himself into rehab. And justice has been served for Junior, the kid that was hacked to death over the summer last year by some Dominican gangs in New York. Sesame Street introduced a new Muppet whose mother is on opioids.
Girl,
Interesting.
what?
Yes. And Shaka Khan, Whitney Houston, and the Notorious B.I.G.'s are B.I.G.'s. B.I.G. is among those who are nominated for Hall of Fame. Of course, Keke Wyatt is expecting her 10th child, and Zoe Kravitz is the new Catwoman. So without further ado, let's get into it. So, do you believe Tupac is alive, D.Jon?
No.
I mean, that conspiracy right there.
That is like the most craziest conspiracy theory I've ever heard.
And the longest running conspiracy.
That shit has literally been going on since his death in the 90s. Like, that is ridiculous for people to still believe like this man is alive. Like, I just still don't understand, like, why people believe that he's alive and that they faked his death. Like, I still don't understand it, and I really don't think I'll ever understand it.
I think the reason why a lot of people, I think a lot of people think seriously that he's still alive because he survived so many times being shot. So they couldn't fathom that this particular time was the last time. And not only that, like, people, like, stuff has been resurfaces of lookalikes that actually look like him, even though we all know that that is not him. Tupac, right. Okay? But people are really like, oh my God, it's Tupac. Because the reason why I wanted to talk about it is because another Facebook post surfaced with him being alive. And the dude really looked like him, but I know it's not him.
See, that kills me that they feed into this conspiracy theory, and it's like, you know, they know people, you know, already think that this man is possibly still alive. So it's like, well, oh, let me feed into this. Let me make a story. Let me, you know, make them seem more crazier than what they already, you know, seem. So, I mean,
but in
you have
reality, he's really dead.
Right, he's really dead. Like of course, you know, you have super fans, just like you said, that just can't fathom the thought of him being gone, and he's been gone for a very long time now. So it's like, I don't know. It's just a crazy one. I just can't believe that.
But also, it was just a lot of speculation. Like, nobody could find out who actually killed him. And a lot of people believe that it was Suge Knight that had something to do with his death, or just a big-ass conspiracy to where...
But see, my thing is with that, too, they really couldn't find out who, you know, killed Biggie as well. They still don't know
to this day.
So those are
this day.
So those are cold cases, you know, that people just don't know.
Well, Tupac case is not cold. They actually know who killed Tupac. They actually have proof who killed Tupac, but that person is now dead. So
Ooh.
the guy, the Crip dude, he really killed Baby Lane really killed Tupac, but because they didn't find any murder weapon, nobody was snitching. You know, snitching, you could get killed snitching. Plus, he was a respected person in the street. He killed them. It just coincidentally, they had a fight with him before, met up with him later on at night, and killed him. So Tupac is really dead. And let me tell you something. Those non-believers, I want you to go on a little website called rotten.com, if it's still available on, and type in Tupac's autopsy photos. They show you them.
Oh, yeah, I seen that. Ugh.
He's cut open with tattoos and everything. And before you say that can't be him, his mama also confirmed it. Mm-hmm. Okay? I mean, it's just a no-brainer that it's him. Mm-hmm. It looks just like him. I don't care what nobody say. He could not possibly live this long and not get outed out by this time.
Right, like that, especially the way like social media and the tabloids and the paparazzi are just like savages. They're out all the time. So like I just don't see that being able to be held in as long as it could if that was, you know, the case. But in this case, it's not.
That can't. So another conspiracy that has also been floating around
for a very long
time since his death. Did Eazy-E die from AIDS-infected needles, or did he really die from the disease itself? What you believe?
To me, like, I can honestly believe...
What's your 401k? Spill your 401k.
Well, I could honestly believe that, you know, what people think about Suge Knight having something to do with him, you know, dying. But then I could also, you know, now that, you know, I did watch the Straight Outta Compton movie, and I did see that he was a very promiscuous guy, and they said he didn't strap up, you know, like when he would sleep around with these women.
Right.
So it's a possibility that he did, you know.
But in their theory,
he did, you know, contract the virus, somebody that he slept with, and he didn't know because, you know, back then in the 90s,
nobody knew what that was.
They still didn't know what it was. So it was just taking people out like that.
They knew what it was, but they didn't know what it was.
They didn't know what it was.
The only picture they had was a bunch of gay people dying from it, or people from Africa dying.
That's what they try to portray it as,
but it really
a gay disease.
It really is just everybody was dying from it. You know what I'm saying? But I believe that, yes, he was very promiscuous, and people were about to say, but his girl, nobody ever came out saying it. Who gonna come out and say they gave HIV to Eazy? That's a death sentence, to honest, if you ask me, because anybody's gonna want to kill him.
And
or that person.
10, they probably didn't know they had
right.
it. So it's like...
But then they're like, the kids, none of his kids have it.
It's a possibility that can happen. That's why they had to regularly. His wife had to get regularly checked every 6 months, and then his children had to get tested as well.
Not only that, like diseases just live dormant in a lot of people's. Like they tell you for years, like you can have cancer, you can have a bunch of shit in your system already, but you don't even know you sick until you damn near about to die. All right. So the theory basically behind Eazy-E is that within a 2-week span of him contracting or finding out his diagnosis, he died. And that's what they're trying to say, like his death was too quick for that, right? So a lot of people, I read the comment section because, you know, I like to be messy and read what other people's thoughts are about this. And they got a lot of people just like you believe, like, you know, maybe Suge Knight did have something to do with it. Maybe somebody else, or maybe he really did catch it just being with having so many
women not using protection.
And I said to myself, like, diseases could literally live dormant in you for years and you not know it. I think, in my theory, he had it for a long time. Didn't know what he had, and then it took the bronchitis episode where he was coughing a lot, passed out, and died from it 2 weeks later.
Because a lot of us, well, you know, a lot of people know that you don't exactly die from the actual virus. You could die from a common cold because your body, it has taken over your immune system. Your T cells low. You know, that's everything one of the most important.
Everything disease
that is the most important thing in your body, in your immune system. So once that's gone, that's it.
Look, a lot of people, I know a few people with AIDS or HIV, and my uncle was one of those people. And he lived a very, very long life with the disease. And it did not, like, even now you get into a status where it's not even detected in you anymore. You taking so much.
Because of the medication.
They got PrEP now where you can take a pill and not be at risk at all.
But see, with that, they've been getting a lot of flack behind that too, because a lot of people have been having bad side effects, kidney infection,
of course,
kidney failures, bones,
of course. It just
issues.
Everything so good. That's the first trial not gonna be good.
But see, it's not even with the first trial because it's been out for so long. Still, I knew somebody that first got on it when it first came out, and like they tell you, my doctor even told me, she said everybody's body is different, so just because that person had that side effect doesn't necessarily mean you'll have it. Right. But it's been so common now to where they don't even really talk about it anymore like that. I know some people in the medical field, they wouldn't recommend it. They would say, I don't think it's a really good idea. Like a friend of mine, he was telling me how somebody that he knows in the medical field, and they told him that they didn't really recommend that he get on that because he was interested in it, but they were just like,
stuff. But back to the Eazy-E thing, like those medications weren't available at that time when he first got it. So you gotta realize, like, he probably had. Well, wait,
this was the 95. So at that time, they did have some type of medications. I watched Pose, so I was. So I'm aware of it because
majority of them
it came late, like in the 80s. But then once they started figuring out exactly what it was, then they were able to do like medications and stuff. So by the early 90s, they did have some type of medication. No, it wasn't PrEP. It was a medication to help not fight off the disease, but to basically
keep your immune
system. It was ATZs or something like something. It was called. I forgot. Don't quote me on it. But I don't. Just like you say, he didn't know that he had the disease. He just thought he was. Allergies are cold,
and right. People
like
have
that.
allergies and sneeze all the time, so people don't think that sneezing is a sickness. Like if you sneezing a little bit too much, you kind of sick, but your body at the time is strong enough to fight it off. And the whole theory of his children not getting it, and his girls the woman he slept with not coming forward, like prenatal care kind of help prevent babies from contracting the disease. If you ever watched a movie called Precious, Precious was infected with HIV from her daddy raping her, and she had it. The doctor told her the baby likelihood of her having it is slim. But to stop breastfeeding her. And we all know the ways you could get that disease is through sexually transmitted diseases and fluids like blood and breast milk and semen. So let's say Eazy-E probably got squirted on in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? Getting squirted
in his
on.
Eyes.
Like, you know how women squirt. And say he might have been eating it out and she squirted it in his face. And she had,
I'm sorry.
And she had HIV. Like, that could have been a way he could have got it. Or blood.
Or he could have just been
fucking somebody on their period that had it.
Or he could have just been shooting a club up.
That
not pulling
too.
out.
That too, not pulling out. And, well,
Yeah,
just in general, in so many ways.
Right.
You never know. And some people believe he had the acupuncture and was tainted with acupuncture needles. But a lot of people also say with that's little pricks at a time. Like, you gotta be, like, I'll give you a story, for example, because this is why I came up with this whole scenario that I believe nobody really infected him, that he just caught it. Because they had this firefighter. He was a paramedic firefighter. He never cheated on his wife. He never stepped outside his marriage or had sex with anybody before his wife to have the disease. What happened was he was a firefighter, and one day, out of the blue, he started having like a bronchitis cough. He a firefighter and going into a building hard for him to breathe with oxygen on. He like something wrong. He was diagnosed with a lung disease or something like that could be cured with taking medicine, but it wasn't getting any better. And it came to a point where he did what Eazy-E did and passed out. Go to the doctor and they running tests. They tell him he have HIV. And he like, how the hell And his wife had to get immediately checked out, and his children had to immediately get checked. And when they was clean, they like, then how you get it? I know I never cheated on my wife. He was a paramedic, could have saved somebody in a fire that had it, or exposed to the needle equipment of that person.
Remember that documentary we had watched like a couple years ago? And it was the dude, he got it when he was young from blood transfusion. And he died. And he had it. The way the mama found out was because of, it was something on the news or the radio or something like that. And they wound up bringing him to go get checked out and found out he had it.
And that just, in a sense, that is just a whole sad story. That a person is dead from this disease. So with the whole Eazy-E theory, with the whole Tupac theory, people gonna believe what they want to believe, but facts are facts, truth is truth, and the only people that know those answers are the ones who are not here anymore. So it's unfortunate that he's not able to live with us, both of them, in a sense, because they could have been great later on in their older years, but they're not. So, you know. But I have a special song. These are my favorite songs. I picked these particular songs sent through us from our email. Shout out to the artists that submit their music. Keep sending them at what's the word 504 at gmail.com. Submit your music through that, or our Linktree app got all of our stuff where you can submit your music. Here's one from the homie Lil Kaz featuring Looney Mofo and Gangsta Boo. This song was sent to us a way long time ago, but I just like the song so much. I listened to it so much. I was like, I gotta play this for the show because it just go with everything. Authentic hip hop at its finest. Here's Lil Kaz, Faces, with Looney Mofo and Gangsta Boo.
Focus on your fortune, man. Stay in your own lane, mind your own business. with some hoes like I'm in the trap mode, scrap this a dawn. Get the pack and drop it off in the slum. I put some ice in a Mario chum. I want the money with being face on it, them hunches, them hunchos. I want the money with being face on it, them hunches, them hunchos. I'm in the trap with some hoes like I'm in the trap mode, scrap this a dawn. Get the pack and drop it off in the slum. I put some ice in a Mario chum. I want the money with being face on it, them hunches, them hunchos. I want the money with being face on it, them hunches, them hunchos.
Life's a bitch and these hoes be tryna lay ya. Look cold with the toolie, you try me, there ain't no way, yeah. My white powder bitch, I call her Lady Gaga. Glock for the tiny, that's Nina Colada. I'm the boss, you the middleman. Revolver spinning like a ceiling fan. Cocaine for the bitches with me in the bando. I'm a businessman. Skinny ties on a salad diet. When I flip the work, it's so satisfying. See them pop quick and start testifying. The grind's hard, but so gratifying. Mira, le pego los dos con las balas. Still reppin' ho con my click like a mara. Poquito del diablo, chingo de escama. Dame ese cuerno, le quito la cara. Por esa bala, tiene más panza. Soy orientado, raza pesada. Al puro chingazo. Dime la raza con este cuentazo. No se me escapa.
I'm in the trap with some hoes like I'm in the trap mode, scrap this a dawn. Get the pack and drop it off in the slum. I put some ice in a Mario chum. I want the money with being face on it, them hunches, them hunchos. I want the money with being face on it, them hunches, them hunchos.
You come to my city, they come with a semi. We sticking them up for the love of the business. My hip fucking up cause I'm tucking extended. The stick get untucked, give it up like you rented. Keep me a hoe with some junk in the titties and some in the pussy, whatever could fit in. I stuff it until I can feel it. Cocaine in the pussy, she numb to the feeling. I'm in the trap, making the killing. I'm in the Vaco like I'm a new tenant. Selling that black, selling that windy, selling that vaping hallucinogenic. The truth, I'ma get it, I'm super committed. I'm serving that hard away too like I'm penny. That Draco shoot 202 in a minute. You should do it too if you two have dependents. I need it pronto. Call up my paisa Juanito, say quit acting tonto. Send me the cuadro, you tell me cuánto. Give me the 2 and I whip it to cuatro. I whip it to 4, Quintero, I'm caro. I get it for cheap and I flip it for caro. Gelato from Cali and fish like a Bible. The fair watching me like Takashi and Rollo, no mama.
I'm in the trap with some hoes like I'm in the trap mode, scrap this a dawn. Get the pack and drop it off in the slum. I put some ice in a Mario chum. I want the money with being face on it, them hunches, them hunchos. I want the money with being face on it, them hunches, them hunchos.
To make a killing, making money for a living. You know me, I be gangsta boo, all black Bentley coupe. I'm in Texas, never catch me ratchet, always on my shit. Hating tricks, acting like some bitches. Damn, y'all make me sick. What up, bitch? Tryna bite my style, copycats on Max. We don't wanna hear this shit because it's whack. How about that? Ay, smoke out till we pass out, count money in a trap house. I live in a mansion, but the streets where my heart at. Listen, you hear this real shit? And if you ain't rich, then motherfuck your broke opinion. You feel me? Platinum and diamonds, you cannot hide. She in the zone. Money is stacked up like 6 sitting on some chrome, bitch.
I'm in the trap with some hoes like I'm in the trap mode, scrap this a dawn. Get the pack and drop it off in the slum. I put some ice in a Mario chum. I want the money with being face on it, them hunches, them hunchos. I want the money with being face on it, them hunches, them hunchos. I'm in the trap with some hoes like I'm in the trap mode, scrap this a dawn. Get the pack and drop it off in the slum. I put some ice in a Mario chum. I want the money with being face on it, them hunches, them hunchos. I want the money with being face on it, them hunches, them hunchos.
And we're back. That was another one from Lil Cass Faces featuring Looney Mofo and Gangsta Boo, the legends in the game. 41 Texas. What's up? New Orleans. We from here. All right. I just had to say it like that. But we were talking about conspiracy theories and do we believe Tupac is still alive? And do we believe Suge Knight has something to do with Eazy-E's death? I don't think either. But what's our thoughts on the secret society and the gatekeepers? Now we gotta get to that because this in particular topic is definitely one of those topics that people believe, like they believe in the Illuminati. They believe that people sell their souls to get their rap deal. Fuck that they had to sweat, blood, sweat, and tear and fucking do open mics to try to get noticed. Like, fuck all that. They had to have a blood sacrifice and kill. And Beyonce and Jay-Z is co-leaders for the Black Illuminati Coalition. So what's your phone? I had to say it like our project girl.
Girl.
What's your 401k?
You know
about
what?
that?
Like when that stuff started first coming around, and I can remember like when it really started to like people would talk about it. I want to say that was like 2007, 2008 when like I could remember, and you know like they had like these documentaries about it, and they would
Like
talk about
high
how
school,
certain people were in it and whatnot. It was a mess. Do I believe in secret societies? To a certain extent, I do. I believe they do have secret groups of people.
I mean, of course.
You know,
I'm just throwing shade. Y'all can't see, but he know. You know what I'm saying. How you doing? In my windy voice. How you doing?
I do believe it to a certain extent, that they do have secret groups. I mean, that to me, like, people look at, and I can speak for this on my end, a lot of people believe, Greek organizations are secret societies.
That's what I did that. That's why I did that.
People believe that we do things, and we worship, these
Satan.
type of people, to get into these organizations. And
speak your truth. Tell them what's real.
It's not that way.
I'm Nakija Wallace, and this is a news report.
It is not that way. I'm here to say that I am a proud member of a Black Greek letter organization, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. I'll be 7 years this year. Stop. But it'll be 7 years this year, and I can honestly tell you that it is nothing like that. It's a business, if anything. It's an organization of college-educated Black men, striving for greatness, and just like the sororities and the other organizations. So it has nothing to do with that. No, we do not praise Satan. No, we don't do none of that foolishness. We don't do any of that.
Hitler
Nothing of the sort.
But, I mean, that's what I want to say. Like, I feel like, yeah, of course they have secret society. I mean, they have the Freemasons.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say that,
They
that
have
too.
the female, I forgot the female version.
Eastern Star.
Yeah, Eastern Star.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is real, like, that's real organizations. They have their own belief systems, just like y'all have your own belief systems. But it's mostly a brotherhood, sisterhood type thing. It's not, now I don't know what them white people do, but I know they might drink a little blood and hell Hitler a little bit. But they also have like the satanic worshipers, like they go to the Lucifer
and see what people
church.
have to believe. Those are those people believe.
Yeah.
So if that's what they believe in, then let them believe in that. You know what I'm saying?
Like it's all on them at the end of the day. Like everybody's entitled to. We live in America where you are free to do that, and everybody is taking all their power to fucking say that you can't believe that. Like, so at the end of the day, secret societies do exist, but do I believe like there's people seeking out? Of course, they have recruiters, but I don't think it's in a sense of where it's like, let me. All right, your brother gotta die, your mama gotta die for you to become a millionaire. Like it's not that deep.
It's so crazy to where they like have performances. They try to say that is some type of ritual.
Play the music backwards.
And then they play the music back and they're showing you like different type of lightning and what this is symbolizing. And I'm like, when that stuff first, you would sit there and you would really be watching it, and you'd be like, and
bitch,
they'll pull you in for a minute, and they'd be like, bitch,
and you'd be like, bitch, this is
that
not
makes,
true. This cannot.
Sense.
This
but then when you be like,
can. This cannot possibly be true. That anything like that is happening. I saw a video on Facebook that they were trying to say like, they do like, do you believe in like what's what I want to say? Like beyond, like there's actually something out there, like aliens or something like that, like reptilian people forming into human people and disguising themselves as human. I saw this shit on Facebook and I was like, bitch, had me like kind of like, bitch. And then they was using real celebrities, like they said, and look at Katy Perry's eye. and her eye like glitched and shit. And I was like, bitch, but I'm glad they only show white people because that goes to show me that we're safe. We're the class that's safe. Yeah, them white people, they do some wild shit. So yeah.
Yeah, you believe in that,
I believe Katy Perry had everything. Like, yeah, she a reptile. But yeah, they got that. And we can also talk about like the crab in a bucket mentality. Like people out here really think like they on before they on. Or like, you know, if I'm at the top, I gotta block you for getting at the top. Like you from getting on my, like they really have a lot of people with this mentality, especially in New Orleans, like especially the hip hop culture in New Orleans. They have this culture of artists that think like, I have to be the first one to get on, and that I'm gonna I'm gonna knock him down every step of the way. Like you'll get into shit where artists will be beefing. What y'all beefing for? And y'all best friends and y'all used to be in a group. Like groups out here in New Orleans will get together and break up because one will get big headed in a group and people feel like, oh, he think this his group, he think we his men. Like nobody wants to work together like Wu-Tang. So like
I could believe that. Yes,
definitely.
You see that a lot. It's like nowadays, and even with people that are on, like they're just like separating themselves from people that they came up with, you know, in the industry, you know, fighting, clawing their ways to the top, and then it's like when they get there, it's like in a sense they almost forget who they are, you know, feel like you are beneath me. I'm the head honcho in charge of this group, and like I'm
especially when they have 5,000 followers. I'm just saying it.
Shade
the shade
of it all.
The messy
but
shade.
See, people like that, and it's a difference between having standards set for yourself, and it's a difference between being just outright an asshole. Right. And I think in that situation, what you're talking about, we talked about earlier, I do believe in a sense that person was being an asshole. They didn't know what type of person that they were coming into because of the outer
judging
presence.
A book by their cover.
They never opened the book. They just looked at the outside of the book and it was like, oh no, I'm not fucking with that. I don't want to fuck with that. Yeah.
But I'll just have to tell y'all, New Orleans artists, like that would definitely block your blessings. I mean, like, my God, like, you have to be mindful of the people you come in contact. You can't just knock your brother down. Can't keep knocking down your sister. We gotta unify. We gotta work together to be great. Y'all claim like there's no love out here in the city. Like people not fucking with nobody. Like people fucking with y'all. Like people want to work with New Orleans artists, but New Orleans artists cannot continue to be Atlanta artists. You can't keep being Florida artists. Like, you can't keep trying to sell a sound to other people where your authenticity, what's the name? Authenticity. Hope that's right. You got to be yourself. You got to be you. You got to be wise. You got to be smarter. Like, you got to be tough.
I thought you were about to sing that song.
You got to be too. You got to be wiser. Like, come on now. Like, we gotta stick together.
Yeah,
like,
but you have so many big-headed people that think they are on before they actually on.
But you know what? No matter what's the word was gonna support our New Orleans artists. You can submit your music to what'stheword504@gmail.com. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Yo What's the Word and Facebook at Yo What's the Word.
And then you could also, if you want to join this conversation, you can post your what are your conspiracy theories within hip hop culture or just like pop culture in general. You can post it on our Facebook page at
Yo What's the Word. You heard me? And just continue to support, because we be minding the business that pay us, you hear me?
All day,
every day, period, poo. But we could go on about
you always say that. It's like it's embedded in you. She always talk about, we can go on and on about this stuff.
We can go on and on about this topic, but we got some tea for y'all. Of course, over the weekend, a tragedy struck in our city when the collapse of the Hard Rock Cafe, Hard Rock Hotel, I said it right, collapsed. 3 confirmed deaths. Because they just later updated us that there were no signs of life in the building of the collapsed structure, that 3 people are now confirmed dead, RIP to them, and 19 others injured. And a lot of people are out here wanting to know answers, like what happened, what caused it. Like a lot of people gonna have some PTSD from this, like especially the people who was like really there and watched it collapse. Like I saw the footage of the building when it finally hit the ground, and they had I don't know if it was a woman or a lady running across the street when the pole fell, and it just looked like that person got hit by that shit.
Oh yeah, I saw that video too.
Oh, I hope they ain't one of the people that got killed, cause fuck, I just seen that. But like, what's the news? What's the latest?
Okay, so the Hard Rock Cafe, located on the corner of Canal and North Rampart Street, has collapsed. This was on Saturday, correct?
Yes.
So the building, which was constructions, collapsed early Saturday, and as of now, only one person at the time this story came out, but Kiss Calhoun did update you guys on that.
Nikita Wallace.
Only one person has been pronounced deceased. Currently, there are 3 people who are unaccounted for and 18 people who were rushed into the hospital, according to NOLA News. In a news conference near the scene, New Orleans Fire Department Superintendent Tim McCarnell said that the upper 6 to 8 floors of the building collapsed, adding that it is still very unstable. Buildings surrounding the area have been evacuated as well. There were reportedly 45 people working inside the building, as some workers are still being accounted for. There are no reports of anyone on the streets being injured. And then, guys, we'll just continue to keep you updated on this.
Of course, because this is home.
It hits home.
I drove past that way, and you could literally see the damage from the interstate.
It was so crazy because somebody that doesn't even live here, they told me about it. Like right when I got the notification, and they're telling me about it. So I'm about to open it, and then they were like, "Bitch, did you see the building just collapsed out there?" And then I'm reading, and I'm like, "What the hell?" I was talking to my mama earlier, and they were saying that it could be the cause of a pool that they built on the top of the hotel.
And this is another part of this conspiracy episode. Who installs a upper level pool before walls are installed? Like it was just slabs. It was no need for a pool to be up there. Like you do that once all the rooms then started.
But it's so crazy. She was saying that this hotel has like been in the works
for years,
making.
And they
she
just
said
reported
2012
on the news.
They were doing it. They stopped.
Damn.
She said it's been going on for years.
So that's like 6 years,
yes.
And they got to start all the way over. Because they saying that
they're gonna have to demolish it.
The structure is just not stable. Once they get that person's body out there, find him, locate him, remove him, because we have severe weather coming up, like they don't want the rain on top of the rubble knocking down. They already messed up the Singer Theater. Like the Singer got a hole in it, and just nobody could go back into that area until is cleared and stuff. And I pretty much think they're not going to let nobody go back into that area until they can demolish the whole building. But it's just sad, like, that is an unfortunate accident. Sorry for the losses of those individuals.
Shout out to the first responders, though.
Right, because I'm going to tell you one thing. New Orleans PD and EMS, they do not come on no kind of time.
Shout out to the fire department.
They came and it was like, cause baby, you'll be waiting an hour for NOPD to come pull up for somebody stole your car in the east, baby. Like, for real, it's that serious.
Baby, that New Orleans came out quick.
But I gotta show them, like, we really from
are,
here.
like
if y'all skeptical because we have animated voices and we can talk proper sometimes. We still know the baby. You already know. It's your girl Kiss D.Jon. You hear me? So,
oh my God, I cannot.
In more sad news, Aaron Dean has been released on bond after killing the unarmed woman in her own home. This just
sad. Like,
I just want to say, how many more of us gotta get killed?
I am so tired of hearing about this stuff. Like, it's just so aggravating and it's so annoying to like just continue to hear about foolishness like this. Like
a cop
and
killing
then they're
a
saying
civilian.
right, and then they're saying like the person that called the police, they say he feels really bad for doing it.
And he should, because he killed
Yeah.
somebody. Like, mind the business that paid you. Until you hear somebody screaming and hollering, don't call because the fucking door open. Like, people could be just getting a little L. Like, all this is from somebody calling the police and the police being scared. Like, and why are you a fucking officer if you fucking scared? You shoot
Right,
first.
I don't.
Like, he didn't even give her a chance. He was like, stop right there, put your hands up, plow. Like, she didn't even know he was a police officer. Like, she in her house. People
Right,
wear earbuds, don't hear you, bitch, and then I'm dead. Like, then she was fucking, she a graduate from Xavier University.
Xavier
Like,
University.
come on, HBCU, come through. Like, give us the story.
Okay,
God.
so
Like,
yesterday.
bitch, can I get to the story?
No. So, yesterday it was reported that Aaron Dean, the officer responsible for the fatal shooting of, how do you pronounce her name? Miss Jefferson,
Yeah,
was
we're gonna call her
arrested
Miss Jefferson.
and charged with murder. And less than 24 hours later, he has been released on bond. According to USA Today, Dean was released on a $200,000 bond hours after being arrested and
what?
charged.
How many?
$200,000.
Child.
There is a police press conference set for Tuesday morning today, while the family of Jefferson is set to have their own media gathering later in the day. On Monday, Dean resigned from his position
Because he was about to fucking get fired, bitch.
He was he was to be fired for the shooting. He was mentioned. As we mentioned before. Miss Jefferson was shot and killed by Dean while she was sitting in her home playing video games with her nephew.
Right.
Kind of, doesn't it sound familiar, guys, about the incident with the woman walking into that man's apartment while he's watching television? Dean
It's
was
always a
responding
copycat type
to a welfare check that was placed by Jefferson's neighbor, who had noticed the front door had been left open. Lee Merritt, the attorney of Jefferson's family, said the family was relieved that Dean had been charged for murder. He continued, "If you think this is over, you have not been paying attention. Ms. Jefferson deserves to live in a world where she was safe from brutally playing video games in her home with her nephew. Her nephew Zion deserves more too. Let's change this world into the one he deserves."
Right. That's just overall pitiful. A sorry excuse to call yourself a police officer by shooting first and asking questions second. Like, you done took somebody's life that they can't get back. And not only is her nephew gonna fucking be fucked up for the rest of his life, the memories with his auntie, and not only that, like, this girl was real loved by her family. Like, she graduated out here, living your best life and thinking you homeless fun, and then you dead. But he's been sentenced, convicted for murder, actually. We just need not 10 years for this, okay? We need life or death.
Right.
No in and in.
Right. Just a sad case. We send our thoughts and prayers to the family, of course.
Definitely.
Like I said, I just get tired of talking about this stuff, because it's like this stuff is going on all the time. Like, it's ridiculous.
But our good friend
She still have a good friend.
DMX is in rehab.
Like we know him.
Our good friend D, because I was rooting for DMX. That boy in, like, he's in prison. I mean, not prison. He's in rehab. He didn't got back on the shit. So get to the story, because they say his son found him naked in a car, and that's when they said, like, no, it's time for you to go.
All right. So, sad news to report. Based on a recent post on social media, apparently rapper DMX has voluntarily decided to check himself into rehab. Just when we thought DMX was on a positive road to sobriety, it appears that it is not the case, as evidenced by a post on his Instagram page with a detailed message regarding his decision to check back into rehab. DMX was currently in the middle of touring and was set to perform at this year's Rolling Loud Festival in New York and at 3 6 Mafia's reunion show in Memphis. Both shows have been canceled. The Instagram post detailing the rehab announcement reads, and I quote, "In his ongoing commitment to putting family and sobriety first, DMX has checked himself into a rehab facility. He apologizes for his canceled shows and thanks his fans for their continued support." DMX was released from prison in January and appeared to be healthy and on a positive path.
And then got back on that shit.
However, there have been concerns that jumping back into touring so soon after leaving prison was too much to handle for him and his extensive drug issues. Rumors began to spread about his sobriety when he was a no-show last week at Def Jam's 35th anniversary concert, where he was one of the headliners. Rappers Fabulous and Jadakiss had to fill in for DMX at the last minute. He previously resigned to re-signed to Def Jam and was planning to release new music. We want to send our prayers to DMX
Prayers,
and his family.
please.
That's
DMX.
ridiculous, but I kind of do agree.
You know
with
what?
them.
I saw it happen, and it's sad that I saw
Right,
it
but
coming.
Right, but I agree with them when they're saying, like, sometimes that could be like too much when you're going back into that, that life per se after, taking so much time off, in college, quote unquote, like what you tell the children. I think he should have took a little bit more time off before he, went back into that life. Maybe he should have just fed back into it, piece by piece. I think he should have started off with, maybe working on a new album first when he got out before touring.
Doing something simple.
I think he should have did something simple
He
first.
went straight into touring, and touring is not something that
you're around
do.
You're around
all of the excess of everything you trying to kick. Why would you go straight into it until you got your mind straight? Then you could have went into, it's time for me to go into this shit. But like I said, definitely gotta be prayed up, D. Like, once you get clean, stay clean. Like, you too old for this shit. Because we don't need to have DMX was found dead in his hotel room. Like, all the rest of the legends. Pimp C died. Who else died unexpectedly, like over drugs?
Whitney Houston.
Whitney took everybody for a loop. Like, we don't need that. So, like, he got to get himself up. But, and more, like, we go from bad, good, bad.
Right.
Well, nothing good.
Nothing good.
Much.
Everything was bad.
But at least this is justice. All 5 defendants in what's his name? Junior Guzman's trial, where he was hacked to death outside of a bodega in New York. Spill the tea.
Okay. So the 5 gang members convicted in the murder of Junior was sentenced to serve life behind bars. Junior's family was able to receive closure today after Judge Robert handed out those hefty sentences in a Bronx courtroom. Last name Estrella, 25 years old, was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. According to the New York Post, his co-defendants, 25-year-old Antonio Rodriguez, Hernandez Santiago, 23, and Jose Munez, 25 years old, and Alvin Garcia were sentenced. Each sentenced 25 years of life in prison. Another gang member, 19-year-old, last name Riviera, was given a slightly lesser sentence of 23 years of life. The sentences were given out more than a year after the vicious June 2018 attack, which was captured on video. The attackers pulled Junior out of a bodega in the Bronx, then used a machete and knife to attack him. The murder was a case of mistaken identity, as the gang members believed Junior to be someone connected to a rival gang. The attack happened a block away from Junior's home. Back in June, a jury convicted the 5 gang members on charges of first-degree murder, second-degree murder conspiracy, and second-degree murder assault. 8 other defendants in the case are still awaiting trial. We'll keep you guys posted
about this.
So this is
pretty much everybody got their justice.
The family got the justice.
They was a whole mistaken identity type thing, and they thought that he raped their sister or something.
The person that they was looking for
raped their sister, but he wasn't the guy that did it. And they basically saw him at the corner store and killed him in front of everybody. And the sad part about it is nobody got this dude help. Like everybody just was in shock. Mm-hmm. Everybody was scared too because of the game. But it's just a crazy, cold world. And thoughts and prayers are still with that family, and thankful for justice in this case. But Sesame Street got a new character where they're introducing her mom being addicted to opioids. Before we tell the story, I think it's a good look because kids actually grow up with their parents addicted to drugs and have them passed out in the car and they don't know what to do. Maybe this could kind of educate kids a little bit on what the safeties and signs to look for when their parents are ODing in a motherfucking car for some opioids. It's sad that these kids have to get put into these situations, but still in all, you have to learn from these. So tell us, sir.
Okay. So the cast of Sesame Street have been geared toward representing some of the most controversial struggles children have to endure. Now the legendary children's show is introducing a new Muppet whose mother is battling an opioid addiction. According to NBC News, a little green Muppet named Carly will explain that her mom was away for a while because she has a grown-up problem, quote-unquote. Her storyline is geared toward the 5.7 million children who suffer at the hands of parents with substance abuse issues. In an online episode, Carly tells Elmo and another Muppet about her mom's meeting and the special kids only meeting she attends, where she spends time with other children who are having the same experiences. How they're impacted by addiction is often sometimes that we don't hear about, or more importantly, don't heed any children's voice or perspective, said Jeanette B., Senior Vice President of Social Impact at Sesame Workshop. Despite how many parents suffer through substance abuse issues, many have no real way to help their children cope. They are also unsure of how to even explain the issues to a child under the age of 11. Sesame Street is hoping Carly's character will relate to those children and let them know they are not alone. There's nothing else out there that addresses substance abuse for young kids from their perspective, said Kama E., a senior content manager with Sesame Workshop. Even a parent at their most vulnerable, at the worst of their struggle, can take one thing away when they watch it with their kids, then that serves the purpose, she had to say. This is Sesame Street's 50th season on air, and the show has a long history of tackling difficult issues with great sensitivity. The show has depicted death, racism, and in 2017, the show introduced a Muppet with autism. Producers also dragged Donald Trump before he was president, giving him fluorescent orange hair and calling him Donald Grump.
So I think that's a great look, you know, as
I
far
think
as
it is
Sesame
as
Street.
well.
But
I really think that is a good idea. They need to hit on real big topics like that. I could think of when Arthur just did it not too long ago with Mr. Radburn. Them actually making his character come out as being gay and marrying his partner. So
And
I think it's a good look.
But then I was mad that a lot of people took that kind of way. Like, didn't want their kids watching Arthur. Like, come on. Didn't I just tell y'all I had an uncle that was gay? Like, I'm pretty sure he was saw himself through Ratburn.
I'm pretty sure everybody has
Right.
a gay family member. But it's like we have to get people. Well, I'm not gonna say we, but people need to get out of this sensitive bubble. Like, you know, oh, I don't want my baby to know about that. Oh no,
well,
they don't
some
be on
children
that.
are
But
automatically exposed to
But my
this.
thing is with that, like, you don't want them to be exposed to that, but you have them laying in the bed with you while you screwing. You know, God knows who, and they come into school and they telling their teacher and their social worker what what their parent doing. So my thing is what you say, calling the kettle black or whatever it is.
Calling the kettle black.
It's like
that.
you deeming one thing, but then
Praise
it's like
the
you
other.
praising the other thing that you're doing. Like, we got to do better, people.
It's a must. It's definitely a must. But shout out to Sesame Street for still educating kids, because unlike some other people, they really have children that grew up in these environments where their parents pilled out or just messed out and cracked out. Like, they need it. Like, But some good news finally.
Right.
Shaka Khan.
I think all the good
Whitney
news is
Houston-
these
at the
last
end,
three.
like, we had to save the best for last. Shaka Khan, Whitney Houston, and Notorious B.I.G. among the nominees for the Hall of Fame.
Okay, so that time of the year has come again when the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has announced the nominees for its upcoming class. There are some artists that are being nominated for the first time, and there are some artists that have been previously nominated with hopes of them soon being inducted. According to Billboard, the legendary Shaka Khan, Whitney Houston, and the Notorious B.I.G. are among this year's nominees. This is Shaka Khan's fourth nomination, while this is Whitney and Biggie's first nomination for the Hall of Fame. If Biggie gets inducted, he would become the second rapper to join the Hall of Fame, with Tupac being the first one inducted back in 2017. In order to be eligible for a Hall of Fame nomination, an artist's first commercial recording must have been released 25 years prior to the year of induction. The other nominees include David Matthews Band, Motorhead, Pat B., Soundgarden, the Doobie Brothers, T-Rex, and then Lizzie. 9 Inch Nails, Judas Priest, Rufus featuring Shaka Khan.
Ooh, all of them.
Depict Mode,
All of them. Ooh, that's
Kraftwerk,
hard.
NC5, and Todd Rundgren.
Ooh, all of them goats.
For the past few years, the induction ceremony has taken place at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. However, the 2020 ceremony will be taking place at the Public Auditorium in Cleveland, Ohio on May 2nd, 2020. Fans have the opportunity to vote now until January 28th.
So y'all go out there and vote for Biggie Smalls.
June 10th,
It's only
2020.
right. It's only right. Tupac got his, Nas Biggie, then let Whitney, then anybody else can go afterwards. I don't care.
Well,
Shaka Khan already got it.
Well, no, she's been nominated 4 times, so she hasn't.
Oh, she
gotten
never
it.
won.
Yeah, they say you can be nominated, but if the people don't vote for you, then you don't win. So you can be nominated as many times as you want, but if you don't get voted and you don't win, you just don't win. So this is her fourth
Wow.
nomination.
And then she on there with Rufus too.
But like people say, it's just an
They
honor
all-
to be nominated.
Yeah,
so.
but they all are great bands too. So it's like tough, very tough to choose from that.
Okay.
But child Keke Wyatt then got 10
Jesus.
She got 10 children.
Oh.
Wow.
So congratulations are in order for Keke Wyatt and her husband, Zachariah Doring. She announced that the couple have a bun in the oven, which will be Keke's 10th child. Keke made the announcement on Instagram and shared some gorgeous maternity photos, including one where she's lying in a beautiful bath with roses. So there was speculation that Keke has been pregnant for some time, as she's been captured sporting what appeared to be an obvious baby bump, but it wasn't until today that she made the announcement official. So fans and fellow celebrities responded to her post with support and love, of course. This baby will make Keke's 10th blessing. Keke got remarried in 2018, and sis has been glowing ever since. So congratulations to you guys from What's the Word.
Don't have no more children after this, please. Because 10 children, damn.
That's a lot.
Damn.
Lord.
But I actually.
How old is her oldest child?
I think they probably be our age. You never know.
What the?
But
well,
she got.
Yeah, she do
she
have
got
some age
money.
on her.
She got money, so she can afford it, baby. She gonna have to keep singing, hitting them high notes. Because, baby, you got 10 children. You got a whole football team right there. But in closing, your girl, Zoe Kravitz, is the new Catwoman. Shout out to her.
Alrighty. So following months of speculation and fan anticipation, it has officially been announced that Zoe Kravitz will step into the role of Catwoman for the upcoming Batman film starring Robert Pattinson in the title role. Rumors have been swirling for quite a while to determine what Hollywood actress would star alongside Robert Pattinson, and director Matt Reeves' new Batman film, about the 100th damn Batman film.
The 1,000th.
The Batman, all questions have been put to rest because, as Hollywood Reporter reports, Zoe Kravitz has been cast. The casting decision was made merely days ago, and makes her only the second woman of color to accompany the role in a feature film following Halle Berry's portrayal in the 2004 film. Catwoman is one of the most recognizable villains in the Batman movie franchise, and this is very true. And also a long-lasting love interest. Catwoman's alter ego is Selena Kyle, who was played in TV adaptations by actress Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, and Eartha Kitt. Michelle Pfeiffer and Anne Hathaway have also played Catwoman in 1992 and 2012, respectively. Actor Jeffrey Wright was also recently announced as part of the film. He will be portraying Batman's ally, Commissioner Jim Gordon. Zoe and Pattinson reportedly tested together, and the chemistry was said to be so strong between them that she easily won the role over the other actress in the running, Andy Armas, Ella Bassin, and Isa Gonzalez. Zoe recently wrapped up season 2 of the critically acclaimed HBO series Big Little Liars, and will next star in Hulu's TV adaptation of 2000 film High Fidelity. The Batman is scheduled to hit theaters on June 25th, 2021. So what are your thoughts?
I think that's a good look. Like, I like the Batman series. I like.
It's just too many of them. Fuck.
There's too many, but I liked it when Halle Berry was.
Well, it was she wasn't in a Batman film. It was Catwoman.
It was Catwoman,
yeah.
but just to.
But it was a part of the Batman's franchise.
Yeah, it is a part of that. But like I said, just to have a part of the franchise and to see somebody like her, she looked like legendary parents, Lisa Bonet and Lenny Kravitz's daughter. Like, seeing her, she already a dope actress. Like, I watched her a couple of times. But, you know, at the end of it, like, she'll do good. Like, I gotta see this. And plus, it hasn't been like a Catwoman type saga in years. since like what 2000
2012 was the last one. Anne Hathaway.
No, I'm talking about like when Hailey played it.
That was 2004.
So since then,
but
like
no,
the black
it's,
chick.
Oh no, it's not a Catwoman movie. It's the Batman.
I know it's
movie.
a bad movie, but it's featuring the actual Catwoman. So I say,
but the last Batman movie to have Catwoman was 2012.
Okay.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway. Well, yeah, this gonna be good. I gotta see this on the bootleg because I don't go to the movies.
Well, you got 2 years, so
so good.
To think
2021.
Yeah.
All right, good. I got time. But it's been an amazing show. I hope y'all enjoy this episode with conspiracy theories. And do you really believe any of this shit? I know I don't. But follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Yo What's Up Word. Also, if you want to be a feature artist, submit your music at our link in the bio of our social things. Or hit us up on our email at what's the word 504@gmail.com. Shout out to D.Jon. Oh my God, I forgot that we actually have another song. So fuck it, I'ma just close it out with this one. Just close it out with the song. This one is B Morgan LAM. Look at me. I hope you like this one. It's been a good episode. Jam to that. Follow us. You already know. This your girl Kiss D.Jon.
Of course. Look at my dread, look at my web, look at this ice, look how we hit. Not to my pants even though it don't fit. Just go to Vic, my dogs with the shit. Ooh, man with the plan. You better roll with the gang. Busting these moves and I don't even dance. In the left lane, I'm doing the dash. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Ooh, man with the plan. You better roll with the gang. Busting these moves and I don't even dance. In the left lane, I'm doing the dash. Wristlet, protect bust down, that's a patty cake, mad white frosting. Big chips, betting on black, all black dress, nigga, I'ma kill shit. And I don't really care what it's costing. Big bags with me like I'm heading to the laundry. She want a wife now, she want the pipe down, down, now. So I slide through my city. I do it big, no biggie. We can pop bands on titties. I just wanna show you what's good. No cap, it's all hood. Run it up, fuck up a check, then another one. I crash a whip with another one. Look at my dread, look at my web, look at this ice, look how we hit. Not to my pants, even though it don't fit. Just go to Vic, my dogs with the shit. Ooh, man with the plan. You better roll with the gang. Busting these moves and I don't even dance. In the left lane, I'm doing the dash. Look at me. Look at me, 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 look at me. Ooh, man with the plan. You better roll with the gang. Busting these moves and I don't even dance. In the left lane, I'm doing the dash.
In the left lane, I'm doing the dash. Rolling through the city like an avalanche. Mad hats jumping out the caravan. My wrist eyes frozen and my kicks like stoves, yeah. Fucked over, saw they ain't coming in. Try to put me on the bench, but I'm condescending. This that trick that make a kitty run like Fiji water. Now she wanna give me a daughter, but I ain't tryna be nobody's starter. Once them price gon' way up, now she calling for favors. Hold up, I don't got paper. I just ran up a check on this motherfucking trip.
Look at my web, look at this ice, look how we hit. Not to my pants, even though it don't fit. Just go to Vic, my dogs with the shit. Ooh, man with the plan. You better roll with the gang. Busting these moves and I don't even dance. In the left lane, I'm doing the dash. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Look at me. Look at me, look at me, look at me. Ooh, man with the plan. You better roll with the gang. Busting these moves and I don't even dance. In the left lane, I'm doing the